Hey, it's Joe, and this is my next project. I thought on this video I could show you around the shop just a little bit, especially the stuff's behind us that when we make the videos, and I'll show you some of this stuff. Come on. This is all the stuff on the shelf, and it's a little dusty and dirty. It's got those cobwebs in there. I've studied this situation in the shop for about 40 years, and I've made a decision. I've decided to clean it up tomorrow. Let's start over here. What do we got? Junk, 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 more junk. Here, sandpaper, graduated. Rough, rougher, rougher. And it holds it all flat. It's just under there. They're not even marked. And then I bought a bunch of this emery cloth. I've got tons of that. Sometimes I buy stuff at garage sales, and I buy a bunch of it if I get a chance. Like the piranha, you can stick your finger in there. Boy, those things could just chew you up if you had about 400 of them and they were hungry. What else? Tall shelves. I'm insulated behind the shelves, I'm glad to say that I finally got insulated. This. You ever try this? The magnet on the strip? I hate it. It's terrible. That's a horrible way to keep screwdrivers. Hopefully soon I'll change that. What else? My brother's 1966 Pinewood Derby car that he and my father made in 1966. And actually, interesting thing, I remember we went to the post office. We went to the post office to weigh it. And my dad has a little tube in here, and he would put mercury in it. For some reason, we had a jug of mercury. And there's a little bit of mercury in there to make it weigh just right. I don't know why he did that. Here's another little Pinewood Derby car somebody made. Anyway, nice stuff. Anyway, I like the benches and I like the shelves. Here's something that I really like about this that I use. You know the little bits you put in your drill driver? This is every bit on the planet that I own right there in that drawer, except for these right here. These, the difference between those and these, I use these. First, when I first built this, every one of these was in here. If I needed one, I put it in the drill, used it, and I put it back in here. So I've used these in the last year. Oh, I know where to go for the usual ones. And then if I have some oddball, I'll go back over there. And check this out. Don't wake the cat. Look at this. I found this turtle shell. Evidently, he had been in some kind of accident and really been hurt bad, but it must not have killed him. He healed up. And he was way out in the woods. He wasn't next to a road or anything like that. It was interesting. This is a piece I found in my father's shop, and it's a valve, rock arm assembly, cam, and it moves if you move it. But it's not your normal setup, because your normal setup would have a spring on it right here that would close the valve. It would bring the valve back up. But this, the cam opens and closes the valve. I guess you would set that tolerance. I think F1 uses that. A lot of motorcycles use. It's not like this, and probably a different kind of wood, probably harder wood. I like the carvings. I like these. I don't know if that's tourist carved or what. I've got these pieces off of an old piano. And I know somebody carved them because they're not exactly the same. They're not the same, but my God, who is carving this stuff, and what do you get paid by the hour? That lion looks like he's getting ready to sneeze, I think. This one, is he sneezing? Yeah, a little bit. Anyway, look in the back there. That's another set of monkeys. I'll tell you about those here in a second. I'll put this up. Let's talk about this wood carving. Because I see wood carving all the time. This is really heavy. Heavy wood. And nice sculpture. Well, I bet that was hard to cut. It's just such hard wood. I see carving all the time, and it doesn't bring that much money. So I buy it. Look at that. Somebody carved each piece of that. I don't know how long it takes you or what you make by the hour. I just suspect it's not much. That's why it's a lost art. That's why it's going away. I'll bet. This is, you ever hear of a pop boat? Pop boat. It's got the little, this is actually a piece of soda can, and there's a candle, a little tiny birthday candle down in there, and you light that candle and it intakes water and shoots water out, and it makes a sound and goes pop, 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 and it pop, 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 pop. It'll go around the lake. Made this one, and you can kind of turn it. You can set it to go out in the lake and turn around. This is bought this sardines at a Mexican grocery store, La Serena brand, and they came in that kind of oval tin there. But look them up on the internet. They tell all how to make them, and you can solder them together. Or I used some kind of glue. The monkeys, weren't we talking about the monkeys? These are, what is that? Speak no evil, hear no evil, see no evil, cover your balls. And I bought the original one of these at a little antique shop somewhere. And then, are they in the same row? Yeah. And then I made a little mold of it. So I'm in the monkey mold business. If you need one of those, that could be a valuable prize there. And you can get this stuff at Hobby Lobby. You just clamp this between some wood and pour it in there. And when I pour it in there, usually I put a little toothpick in there, because I can stir it around with the toothpick. And anyway, you can get that stuff at Hobby Lobby, and it's better if you heat the mold up. If you put the mold in a little bit of warm water, it will it just works better. And there's a little bit of mold release you have to put in there. But anyway, here's a cool thing about this setup back here. These steps, which are really, this is where all the screws, all the wood screws I own, live right here. And if you just have a few screws, they go in here. Put the long ones over here, and they go short ones there. And then if you need boxes of screws, which just like you, I end up with all those boxes. And you come back and you clean in your tool bag and you have 6 screws left. You just throw them in here. That way, if you need 1 or 2 screws, they're easy to pick out and easy to throw back. But that's not the coolest thing about this. This is the coolest thing. Those steps, you can step 1, 2, 3 up on the counter and walk up and down this counter and get to everything up high. Get to the spray cans, and get to the caulking cans. Watch, you just step like this. 1, 2, 3, and you're up there. And then you can reach all these. What is that? I don't know what that is. Bagpipes. Anyway, David Barnes sprint car. Pretty cool. But anyway, it's very handy to have, especially if you have stuff up high. Rivets, nice bug sprayer. If you got bugs. What are these up here? I remember I had Buddha bottles. Buddha shaped beer bottles. I like them. I like the beer in it too. Wasn't bad. This is kind of somebody had made this giant wristwatch. Anyway, one more thing. I want to show you this radio alarm surround here. Let's go back down. This radio alarm station is a Fireplace. And I think it's a hand-carved fireplace, and here's why I think it is. Because it's put together with pegs. Peg, peg, peg. More pegs here. Pegs here. That just, it tells me, I think it was built before electricity was around. So somebody's carving this stuff in the dark, or in daytime. But look how good this fits. Did they carve that by hand? Did they have some kind of plane that would make this quarter round? And look how well that fits. And all of this stuff fits pretty good for before electricity. You think we invented good fitting and good carpentry? We sure didn't. I know I didn't. I'm a better filler and sander than I am a carpenter, really. Look at that. That's weird, some weird angle. And I don't know where it came from. It may have come from Mexico, or I just don't know. And I bought it. I didn't even have a fireplace to put it around. So, anyway, that's what is that? A weasel and a snake and a mongoose. I think that's some kind of corn snake, and they stuck a coat hanger down his neck or something. He probably wasn't born that way. Yeah. Anyway, that's behind the scenes at Joe's next project. And off to the next project. I hope you enjoyed watching as much as we enjoyed making it. If you did, tell your friends and subscribe. It's important.